So for a while now, the Sony XB900Ns have been one of my most recommended pair of mid-range ANC headphones. They have good build quality, they fit well, they have decent active noise cancellation, their ambient mode is good, they sound good, and they also have a lot of head rattling bass if you want it. But then there are the Sony H.ear On 3s, which are slotted above the XB900Ns. So which one of these should you actually get? Now, the Sony XB900Ns retail for $250, whereas the H.ear On 3s retail for $300. But the XB900Ns routinely like to go on sale for $178, and the H.ear On 3s can routinely be found on sale for $200 at Costco. Now, at those prices, both of these headphones are a bargain, and you can't go wrong with either one. But I do think one is overall superior to the other. But nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these headphones up, they'll be linked down below. Now, first off, I do have to point out that both of these headphones come included with a carrying pouch rather than a hard shell carrying case, which is a rather big letdown on both of these headphones. So definitely, if you plan on traveling a lot or commuting with these headphones, I do advise that you invest in a hard shell carrying case. Now, one area where the H.ear On 3s definitely outshine the XB900Ns is when it comes to build quality. Now, don't get me wrong, both of these headphones have really good build quality, and they both stay silent whenever you handle them. But what really makes the H.ear On 3s stand out here is that their whole body has a soft touch feel to it, even the outer portion of the headband. Whereas the XB900N's entire body is just this textured plastic, which does feel good, but soft touch feels better. But another area where the H.ear On 3s really outshine the XB900N, and even the 1000XM3s for that matter, is when it comes to their leatherette. The leatherette on the H.ear On 3s just feels much smoother and softer than the leatherette on the XB900N. Now, the leatherette on the XB900Ns feels really good, and I've said in the past that it feels better than the super synthetic leatherette found on the 1000XM3s. But again, the leatherette on the H.ear On 3s just feels better. But when it comes to fit, I personally prefer how the XB900Ns fit over the H.ear On 3s. Now, both of these headphones fit well, and they're both big head approved because they don't have a lot of clamping force. But the H.ear On 3s do fit a little more firm than the XB900Ns do. So I do prefer the XB900N's looser fit. Now, when it comes to the ear pads, keep in mind that both the XB900N and H.ear On 3s have more spacious ear pads than the 1000XM3s. Now, the ear pads on the XB900N should have no problem accommodating most ear types, but if you have really large ears or ears that stick out a lot, then you might be better off with the H.ear On 3s. But personally for me, I prefer to wear the XB900Ns over the H.ear On 3s. And just putting it out there, I do think the XB900Ns are more comfortable than the 1000XM3s as well. Now, when it comes to tech specs, both of these headphones charge via a USB-C port. But just keep in mind, these USB-C ports are strictly used for charging. You can't use these USB-C ports as a wired connection, like you can with some other headphones out there. Now, when it comes to battery life, the H.ear On 3s have an advertised battery life of 35 hours, whereas the XB900Ns have an advertised battery life of 30 hours. Overall, both of these headphones have really good battery life for headphones in 2020. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, unfortunately, both of these headphones can only be connected to one device at a time. You can't easily hot swap from one device to another, like you can with the Bose NC700s or the Surface headphones 2. But when it comes to watching movies or videos on your phone, both of these headphones have zero latency across the board, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device, which is great. The only thing that I do gotta point out is that the H.ear On 3s only have LDAC and AAC support, whereas the XB900Ns have aptX and aptX HD support, as well as AAC and LDAC support. But you can always just use a wired connection with either of these headphones because both of these headphones still have an easy to reach 3.5mm audio jack. Now, I know this sounds basic, but I do want to point it out because some companies are starting to remove the audio jack on some of their products, either as a cost-saving measure or because they're really trying to push forward this wireless future. My only complaint here is that these headphones do come with some really cheap audio cables. But now let's talk about listening to music with these headphones, because this is where these headphones really differ from one another. Performance-wise, these headphones sound the same when it comes to soundstage and instrument separation. And since both of these headphones have a fully customizable EQ, you can make them sound however you want. If you like a neutral EQ, you can do that, or if you like a bass-heavy EQ, you can also do that. But what really separates these headphones from one another is their bass. Now, the H.ear On 3s have a decent amount of bass that will rattle your head a little bit. But the bass on the H.ear On 3s is noticeably less than the bass on the 1000 XM3s, and it's way less than the kind of bass that you'll find on the XB900N. The XB900Ns are a part of Sony's extra bass headphone lineup, hence the XB in their name, meaning these headphones have a lot of head rattling bass to them, which can be pretty fun sometimes. And having the clear bass slider on the H.ear On 3 set to 10 is like having the bass on the XB900N set to 2. And like I mentioned, all of this head rattling bass can be a lot of fun, especially if you listen to a lot of rap and hip hop like I do. And that extra bass feature on the XB900N does bring an extra level of immersion when you're watching movies with these headphones. But the extra bass on these headphones can sometimes get old, or some people just don't like a lot of bass on their headphones. And that's perfectly okay, because you can always just lower the bass on these headphones, and you don't even have to use their extra bass feature if you don't want to. So even though both of these headphones sound decent, I do prefer and recommend the XB900Ns over the H.ear On 3s, because they have that extra bass feature if you want it. Now, when it comes to controlling your music, both of these headphones have touchpads which are very accurate and easy to use. But I do want to point out that I do feel that the touchpad on the XB900N is a little easier to use than the touchpad on the H.ear On 3s. I just find that my finger glides much easier on the XB900Ns than on the H.ear On 3s, because the H.ear On 3's soft touch surface does add some friction. Nonetheless, both of these touchpads are fine, but I do prefer the XB900Ns. But finally, let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Just as you'd expect, as you move up the ladder, the active noise cancellation improves on these headphones. And since the H.ear On 3s are slotted above the XB900Ns, the H.ear On 3s have slightly better active noise cancellation. But so that you can see for yourself, we're gonna jump into an ANC test. So, like you may have just seen, the H.ear On 3s block out a little more noise than the XB900Ns, but just slightly. But neither of these headphones stack up to the 1000 XM3s, which is to be expected. Now, even though the H.ear On 3s block out a little more noise than the XB900Ns, the H.ear On 3s have a much higher pitch to them when blocking out road noise than the XB900Ns. But nonetheless, the ANC on both of these headphones is decent because they both have very little cabin pressure, which does contribute to their overall comfort. But somewhere where these headphones are identical is when it comes to their ambient modes. Both of these headphones have a fully customizable ambient mode so that you can adjust how much sound these headphones let in. And the ambient mode on both of these headphones sounds very natural, they have zero hissing in the background, and they both do a very good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. But just keep in mind, unlike the ambient mode on the 1000 XM3s, which actively block out sudden spikes and loud noises, the ambient modes on these headphones let in everything. But besides that, the ambient modes on both these headphones is great. And both of these headphones also have quick attention, where if you cover their touchpads, you can quickly talk to someone without having to take your headphones off, like this. And then, when you uncover the touchpad, they'll go back to normal again. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, I have this AC unit turned on because I want to show off what kind of a job these headphones do, isolating your voice from any ambient sound you might have around you. And also, it's just really freaking hot in here. Now, the XB900Ns do an okay job of isolating your voice, and the microphone on these headphones actually sounds very similar to that of the microphone found on the 1000 XM3s. But the H.ear On 3s does do a slightly better job of focusing on just your voice and blocking out that AC unit. Because if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear that AC unit. But if we switch back over to the H.ear On 3s, not so much. Now, in general, the microphone on the H.ear On 3s isn't the best out there, but it does get the job done for like a quick phone call. So with all that being said, I do think the H.ear On 3s are the better built and better looking headphones here. I really like their all soft touch body, I really like their super spacious ear pads, and I really like their great feeling leatherette. But personally, I still prefer and recommend the XB900Ns over the H.ear On 3s. The biggest reason why I recommend the XB900N over the H.ear On 3s is because of their extra bass feature. It is a lot of fun to listen to, and if you want to use it, it's there. But if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But also, I do prefer the XB900N's slightly looser fit, and their lower price tag is the cherry on top. And at the end of the day, the ANC performance between these two headphones is very marginal. Like I said in the full review, I'm not really sure why the H.ear On 3s exist. If I were Sony, I would get rid of the H.ear On 3s and I would just bring some of those design elements and build quality improvements to the XB900N and continue to dominate that mid-range ANC headphone market, because that segment of the market is starting to heat up. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.